snuck into my room and stole my ring! It's a family.
Look at me, you cockeyed.
Ciao all, Thomas here. We are gathered today to once more complain about the Winx Club reboot.
What happened? Something really terrible and something really wonderful.
At the very least, this is the least annoying episode so far. This episode's biggest crime is that it's just fucking boring. Although I'm not exactly sure if that's the best thing, because trying to recall what happens in this one, I nearly fall asleep. Before we continue, I do have a fun announcement though. So the reboot has been driving me insane with how bad it is. And I've been thinking of rewriting the Winx Club series as a whole, like the first season, and then maybe go from there. You know, just for fun. It's not a thing I'm entertaining right now for a video, maybe down the road, but this kind of jump started me, and I already have a whole obsidian vault of stuff, of world building and character details. Ideas like Alfea being on Lake Rockaluce, Aisha being here from the first season, of Stella and Aisha being childhood friends who had a falling out a few years ago, and now they're roommates, and now everybody's walking on eggshells around them. I don't know, I'm having fun, and I'm actually writing out scripts for it because I find that a lot easier and quicker than trying to write out prose for it. I am currently on episode 6, and the first 5 episodes are done. I have the first 3 up on my Patreon. I'll probably post 4 and 5 on there at some point, maybe when I finish 6. I don't know. If y'all are interested in that, you can check out over there on Patreon or whatever. Or not. Although I can promise you there's no girls having to share their screen time with an annoying boy because we have to fight feminism. Because Eugenio is a lunatic. So this episode, it starts out with Not Nut. That is what I'm calling him, Not Nut. You know, the ugly ogre thing. It turns out it is working for the Trix. He's back, and he's in Stella's room looking for the Ring of Solaria, or Solaria. They changed the pronunciation it's Sirenix. I'm sorry, Sirenix. I'm sorry, Sirenix.
Solaria ring.
Princess of Solaria.
So we'll get into the ring thing being stupid in a bit, but it's in the middle of the day, and I'm assuming the girls are not here because they're in class or something, but how the hell did this monster get on campus and into Stella's room and no one noticed? It escapes via the window and the roof later, so I'm assuming that's how it got into the dorm. But I don't know, I feel like a giant monster like that would be quite noticeable in broad daylight, especially given its hideous hand feet.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
Look at it. It has thumbs on its feet. I cannot tell if that's an intentional choice to make it creepy, or if the AI just didn't know in the design process, process air quotes, how hands and feet work. Because that's one of the telltale signs that it's fucked. He finds the ring and he opens a jewelry box, and inside is a smaller jewelry box, inside of which is another smaller jewelry box, to which I'm going, why does Stella have a Russian nesting doll of jewelry boxes?
I'll put that flea in a box, and then I'll put that box inside of another box, and then I'll nail that box to myself.
What is the purpose? Is it supposed to be funny? Is there a practical reason for it? Because it just seems stupid and weird and stupid. So stupid I said it twice. So anyway, the girls get back. There's oh god, the animation errors, they keep coming. Stella and Aisha are in one shot heading for the pink couch at the center of the room, and then immediately in the next shot, instead they sit on a blue couch on the side of the room beneath the staircase.
Okay, Blue.
By the entrance. What? Did no one notice the fucked up continuity of these shots? What the hell? Damn, guys, there's no quality assurance to this whatsoever. At least when errors happened in the old show, 1, they weren't this consistent, and 2, they weren't this egregious. Usually it was just I don't know, a character being slightly miscolored or in the wrong outfit. It wasn't anything as mind-breaking as this, especially because it's 3D animation, So you kind of have to go out of your way to like fuck up a model or fuck up continuity compared to a drawing where you're like literally drawing something new every single frame. Anyway, they're like, Bloom, we're gonna help you transform. And Bloom's like, oh no, I don't know if I can do it. And Stella suggests they use the Ring of Celeria because it's a magic amplifier or whatever. And there's a bit where they're debating on whether it'll work, but no one is explaining why it potentially wouldn't work.
It could help you.
That sounds improbable.
Because it won't work.
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Why though?
Like, Musa is adamant that it won't work, and I'm like, but why? Why are you so certain of this, Musa? Do you doubt Stella this much? I mean, Reboot Stella, I completely understand doubting her. So anyway, Stella goes upstairs to fetch her ring so that the plot can happen. Can I just say her room is so boring? Like, OG Stella's dorm was so cute. It was so like warm and cozy with the orange and the yellow. She had this like really lavish bed, looked so cozy, and like drapes over it that felt very sophisticated. Was it a fire hazard? Sure, but like who cares? And of course she had like the upstairs closet all to herself with like the floating steps. Whereas here it just looks like a room with like no personality to it at all. Okay. Anyway, she goes upstairs to get it, and Bloom and Flora turn towards the camera, and I'm not sure what they're doing. They just look like they're staring at nothing. Now, actually, I've seen the animatics for this episode because, you know, they and some other episodes, their animatics got leaked before this came out. For the record, no, that doesn't help them dodge AI allegations because the AI allegations are in, like, the designs themselves, not the animation. You know, the animation itself was presumably done in one of Rainbow's sweatshops where they pay animation students like €2 an hour. Allegedly. That's what they say on the streets. And before I continue, me taking shots of the animation is not taking shots at them. If it's come off that way, I am sorry. My anger lies with Rainbow exploiting animators and not treating them well, and thus turning out shit like this that also looks bad in their portfolios. You know, it's the same issue with Ruby, where Rooster Teeth would exploit very talented, hardworking animators who would put so much effort into the show, more than the goddamn writers. And so the show ends up looking like crap despite the talented people working on it, and I'm certain it's the same issue with Winx Club. Confirming once again to me that Rainbow is the Rooster Teeth of Italy, and we all know how Rooster Teeth went. But in the animatics, characters are way more expressive, they're way more human feeling. Which I think goes a long way to showing how much visual storytelling and animation, like character animation specifically, matters in endearing you to characters. Like, the script is ass, don't get me wrong, but I think the expressions in the animatics do a little bit more heavy lifting to, like, make it more bearable. And they're not here at all in the finished animation, you know, finished air quotes. So anyway, Stella's like, oh my God, my ring's gone. My parents are gonna fight.
It's a family heirloom. My parents fight enough as it is. I can't imagine what they'll do after this.
They do this thing where the girls will just randomly burst out bits of their own like family drama and lore at you, like they're reading from their own wiki pages. You know, Stella being like, my parents fight. And Musa being like, my mom is dead.
I just want to have a hit album so I can support my dad. My mom was a famous singer in my world, and Dad hasn't been the same since she died.
I didn't ask! Zoe!
And it's like, I didn't ask you about that. Like, at least in the original, when they told us, it was because the scenario called for it and they were quite, like, hesitant in bringing it up. It wasn't unprompted.
And why are you two staying here?
I don't celebrate the Day of the Rose. My mom and dad are splitting up. So, what's your excuse, Musa?
I haven't celebrated this day in a long time because I haven't got anyone to celebrate. I lost my mother when I was still very young.
Whereas here, they'll just throw it at you like a brick and then drop it immediately. And you're just like, I'm expected to move on from this and not dig further into this? Oh, also nearly forgot to mention, when Stella is screaming about her ring being stolen and the girls like stand up in horror, Aisha goes cross-eyed.
Someone snuck into my room and stole my ring. It's a family.
Look at me, you cockeyed
It is quite traumatizing. How do you fuck it up? Why is it that when they're looking off screen somewhere, they're all like staring in different directions, and sometimes their own eyes are staring in different directions?
The fortress doesn't reveal itself to just anyone.
God is dead. God remains dead.
Especially because I have rigged characters before. Normally on my models, I'll like do 2D face rigs, but I know how a 3D face rig works, and the eye controls go together. You can animate each eye independently, but there is also a control to move the eyes together so that this doesn't happen.
Look at me, you cockeyed
So how did this happen? So anyway, the Trix got the ring. They're in Cloud Tower ruins or whatever. Okay. Why do they want the ring? This is where we get into the stupid. So in this version, the Trix have been after Bloom from jump. Everybody already knows that she has the dragon flame, which is so ugh. Like, it really kills the mystery of like who Bloom is, where she comes from, what her power is, why the Trix are after it. Like, there are so many mysteries in it that are quite obvious, like, especially if you know the kind of show that this is, but it's still fun to watch and unravel and get the exact details as season 1 goes. And most importantly, it matters to Bloom emotionally. Like, we hit the beats of, oh, I'm not from Earth. Oh, I have the dragon flame. Oh, Daphne is my sister and she gave her life to protect me. But we just jump through all of that because we just want to get to the end point of Bloom having the dragon flame in this version, to the point we don't even really explain what the dragon flame is. So you're probably wondering, if they know that Bloom has the dragon flame and they're already trying to steal it from her, why would they want Stella's ring? And apparently it's just because they think it can amplify their magic stealing spell so they can get the dragon flame more easily. They can't. Apparently it won't work for anyone who's not Stella, so they just immediately give up.
If we amplify our magic stealing spell with the Ring of Solaria, we'll be able to steal Bloom's flame easily.
12 seconds later.
Forget the ring. We'll just take the direct approach.
And just leave it in like a glass jar that looks like it's from Beauty and the Damn Beast, but instead of a rose, it's a severed hand.
How are people to use these things if they're locked behind glass?
It's for protection.
I know what the spear is for, but why is it in a glass case?
Now, the glass case is for protection.
Wouldn't the spear be better protection than a glass case?
Yes. No. It's there to protect from someone who might want to steal it.
Why would someone want to steal a glass case?
Whose severed hand is it? Probably one of the animators that Rainbow killed. Anyway, allegedly. This is just such a waste because it's like, this doesn't even need to be here. Like, them wanting the ring doesn't matter at all. Like, in the original, they wanted the ring because they thought it had the dragon flame, because they didn't know about Bloom.
Stella's ring might be very powerful, but I mean, get real. This little thing could never hold the power of the dragon. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out.
Be quiet! After all I've been through to get my hands on this ring, I won't be talked to like that.
And they didn't figure out Bloom had the flame until, like, I would say a little bit less than halfway through season 1. It took a while, and so it made it so Bloom wasn't immediately the most super duper special right out the goddamn gate. And they thought that it had the flame because there's this whole lore around the Ring of Solaria being crafted from the same source as the Great Dragon's flame.
According to the legend, the Sword of Solaris was created a long time ago. Nobody remembers when. It was sculpted out of a stone immersed in the spring of light, which still flows today, and is only one of the many gifts offered by the Great Sacred Fire.
Which is how we learn about the Great Dragon, so we can set it up for Bloom's powers later on. You know, it's interesting. It makes for interesting conflict through the first few episodes of the Trix going after Stella's ring, so we can have plot shenanigans. It makes it so Bloom isn't the only one that matters, and it adds a bit of world-building stuff that not only serves the story later on, but also makes the magic dimension feel more real, like it has an ancient history to it. It's a history I wish we learned more about, but it's there. It feels thought out. But here, we don't get such things. We don't. So now the girls are like, oh no, I bet the Trix took it because they're so good at being bad. Musa, you should be in jail for that line. That sucks.
I bet the Trix took it. They're so good at being bad.
Nope. Stop talking. Go to jail.
Oh!
Flora notices ashes on the floor. How she knows that they're ashes or sees them at all, I don't know, because like she sweeps them up in her hand and you can barely see them. You can see them in the animatic, but not in the animation. Like, what the hell? Does Flora just have like supervision or something?
Look!
This isn't just dirt. These prints are full of ashes.
Tekna is like, the ashes come from the Cloud Tower ruins. And they're like, okay, so we got to go to Cloud Tower because, you know, the Trix skulk out there, apparently. How we know this, I don't know. So we'll just go to Cloud Tower, get the ring, and then come back. Even though it's not allowed because Cloud Tower is dangerous or whatever. So, okay, Cloud Tower being destroyed and thus explaining why the witches are here. Again, no one ever explains how Cloud Tower was destroyed. They just say it was destroyed in the war between light and dark, roughly around the same time as Domino falling. And I'm like, okay, so Griffin was running Cloud Tower, I assume. Was she on the side of the ancestral witches? Like, because in the original, she served them, but then switched to the Company of Light. Was Cloud Tower destroyed and then she turned to the good side? Like, Cloud Tower was evil and destroyed by the forces of light? Or like, was it a fortress of light that the ancestral witches and their forces of darkness destroyed? Like, I need some information here. And I also don't understand why, if it has been 16 years, no one has bothered like restoring Cloud Tower. Like, there's not even an active effort to try and bring it back to its former glory. They just leave this like abandoned scrap heap of Gothic architecture in this random place. And I'm like, why? Why would you not want to like restore this school? Not only to get things back to normal and so the witches can have their school back, but also just because, like, I don't know, I would assume that it would help for y'all to have extra fortresses to concentrate your power for your alliance or whatever. Fuck Cloud Tower, I guess. It's also weird for newbies because it's like, they'll just be confused because like this version of the show is so bad at establishing anything. It really is just banking on you knowing who these characters are and how this world works going in from the original show and then coasting off of that, which has been the approach Rainbow has taken since season 5, where they do not understand who their audience is because they're pissing off old fans but also confusing new ones. So new fans are going to be like, what's Cloud Tower? And they don't have a baseline for what Cloud Tower is supposed to be when it's not destroyed. You know, it's like when Red Fountain is destroyed at the end of the first season of the original and then is rebuilt in season 2. That only works because you've been acquainted with Red Fountain in the first season. So you have a baseline for when it gets destroyed. Oddly enough, that will be relevant later on in the reboot in a bad way. We then have the bell to send them to class. I've explained my issue with the bell last time. It still stands. Is this a college or a high school? I'm so confused. How old is anyone? Anyway, the other girls rush to clash, but clash, like I'm the Lorax. I'm the Lorax, and I speak for the clashes. The clash warfare. We shall seize the means of production. Oh god, anyway, Marxist Lorax aside, Bloom apparently has all the time in the world while the others are rushing to class to go to the library.
The library!
Okay, sure, why not? So she's going to the library to look up information about Cloud Tower to get like a map on it. I don't know why that would be in here, but sure, why not? Maybe it could be a book on history of Cloud Tower to learn what happened to it? No? Okay, fuck you too, show. Alfea once again is not beating the wannabe dark academia allegations. It's gloomy as fuck in here, holy shit. So Bloom finds a book, takes photos of the maps of Cloud Tower with her phone or whatever. She's about to leave, and then she hears like a voice calling her name, and it's Daphne. Let's be real, it's Daphne.
Huh? It's me.
What? Who are you?
Newbies, if you don't know who Daphne is, get fucked. Read the wiki, I guess, because this show doesn't care about you. Anyway, Daphne like pushes out a book from one of the shelves. It's, you know, the history of Domino. Griselda's like, the fuck are you doing here? This is the restricted section.
What are you doing? This section of the library is off limits.
To which I say, what the hell do you mean? This looks like a normal part of the library. Like the entrance is literally like 10 feet away. Like, I don't understand how this main area is a restricted section. Shouldn't a restricted section be like, I don't know, blocked off by like a gate or something like it is in the original.
What's going on? Oh no! The rare books! The Golden Gate! Oh!
Shouldn't it be like removed and out of the way? Oh, by the way, I really miss the old catalog system. Like the original show found so many cute ways to like integrate magic and, you know, ideal futurism into the world in ways that we just did not appreciate. Like OG show, you go up to like this little platform thing. It looks like something a conductor would use for a symphony. It's shaped like a golden butterfly. You put your hand on it, you call out for the book, and the books come to you. They literally like float over to you.
Daphne! Wow, that was quick. Much faster than the internet. Let's see.
And it was so cute and so handy and made a lot of sense. And, you know, the books also swirled around Bloom when she was asking for stuff to like scare her because the knowledge she was looking for was dangerous, and she was also overwhelming herself with the search. Here, it's literally just looking for books the normal way because we're boring, I guess.
Yes!
Oh yeah, on the Daphne thing, it's also just kind of weird because I'm not sure why she's calling out to Bloom like this, aside from like plot convenience, because there was no other way the writers could think of to get her to see the book on Domino for the foreshadowing. Like in the original, Bloom would only hear Daphne in her dreams because that was the only place that Daphne's spirit could reach her. She couldn't just like reach out whenever she felt like it. Because if you do it like that, one, it feels very lazy and random. And two, you're always wondering why she isn't reaching out all the time. Whereas by having it be consistently in dreams, you are making it more clear, okay, so there's a limit on when she'll show up. And you're also going, is this real? Or is it literally, or is it just a dream? You know, you're wondering that alongside Bloom. Anyway, Griselda chases us out of the library because girls aren't allowed to read anymore because Eugenio Straffi doesn't believe in women reading because that's woke. He also doesn't believe in properly lighting a reading space because having eyes that aren't strained by reading in the dark is also woke. So Bloom shows up to class. It's a WizGiz class yet again. Why WizGiz? Like, why not like Palladium? Why not another professor? I mean, granted, Palladium looks horrifying in this animation, but come on.
Oh my God!
So anyway, they're like changing the locks on this dollhouse or whatever with like transmutation spells. It's really boring and not really relevant at all. Like the way it comes into the episode later is completely irrelevant. You could cut it entirely and nothing would change, but we have to sit through it anyway. So Bloom changes the lock. It becomes budget Pac-Man at home or whatever. She's such a loser, right? Stella changes it to like a necklace that she wants. Stormy makes it into like a gothic necklace that WizGiz really likes or whatever. I don't care. Anyway, that was really pointless and stupid. Shall we move on? Let's. There's also a bit where Flora is trying to hug Bloom to make her feel better, and she hugs her head, and I'm like, this looks really weird. It looks like Bloom is about to like snap Bloom's neck, like vampires snapping people's necks in the originals.
Yay, Bloom!
Is Flora a student of Klaus Michelson? Maybe. Lord knows it'd make her more interesting. So before they sneak out, Farragon is telling all the girls, lights out, good night.
Lights out, girls. Good night.
Good night, Headmistress Paragonda.
Why is she doing this? I don't know. Is she saying this to every single goddamn dorm in the school? Does she do this every single night? Who fucking knows? And who fucking cares? Anyway, we sneak out. We get all the way to Cloud Tower. We don't know where geographically it is compared to Alfea. We don't know the layout of Magix whatsoever. Did we walk all the way here? Was there a bus? Are there bus routes to the ancient ruins of Cloud Tower? Did we fly here? If so, how did one of us carry Bloom? I'm very confused. So anyway, they're following Bloom's stupid maps on her smartwatch, and then her watch dies because, you know, she forgot to charge it. Tekna's coming in clutch, though, because she pulls up a holographic map.
Oh, my battery died. What do we do now?
Stand by.
I don't know if she's sourcing it from Bloom's pictures because like it's really hard to tell with the quality of the images. Because if she could just scan the environment herself why did Bloom have to go and find a map of Cloud Tower herself if Tecna can just do it? And especially because later on we see that Tecna apparently is just able to scan any environment as she sees fit, like instantly.
It's right here in Light Rock Fortress, 2 floors up.
So, congrats, Bloom. You were pointless. We go into a random room. Is this like what used to be like, it can't be the Trix's dorm because it was destroyed 16 years ago. And the Trix, I assume, are either freshmen, just like the Winx, or even if they were seniors, it's like, you know, they just started school. They wouldn't have been going to like these schools during Cloud Tower's destruction.
Oh my god. You're 40?
So Lord knows what room this is supposed to be. It's also so sad because Cloud Tower in the original was so cool. Not only the exterior, but also all the interiors, the deep, warm greens of the corridors, contrast against all the purple and the bright oranges, the spider web windows, the doors with the faces on them to give you a little bit of a spooky vibe. And the Trix dorm was also so killer. I loved how vertical it was compared to the Winx dorm. It felt more open, but also a bit more ominous, but also like I would vibe in there. To the point there's even like a loft upstairs with like a computer and also a wet bar. Like, sure, okay. You just have a bar in your own dorm at Cloud Tower College. That's how witches roll, I guess. I wonder if they brew alcohol in their cauldrons. Here at Cloud Tower is really boring, though. It's just a bunch of, like, blue stone hallways with some rubble here and there and some, like, iron wrought gates every now and then. It's so boring to look at. There's, like, no flair or style or effort in the design of this place. It just feels phoned the fuck in. Like, the original put in the effort to make every environment unique and memorable, not only distinct from each other, but also just unique to the viewer, like things you'd never really seen before. Whereas here, it's like there is no style, there's no art direction, there's nothing. So anyway, we get the ring back from the hand thing, disgusting. Stella hangs back because she's dying. I mean, she hears something.
Let's go, Stella. We don't want the Trix to catch us in here.
Don't you hear that?
And, you know, they come across this little cage thing where this little freak is hiding in. It's the not nut ogre, but miniaturized. Why is he miniaturized? I'm not sure, aside from us not realizing he's a monster. So the girls use the spell from class to free him or whatever. It's super pointless and dumb.
I think it was Sigillus Mutato Figaro.
Or was it Sigillo Mutatis Figaro?
I'm gonna take this and kill you both with it!
Every time they say Figaro, my brain goes, Figaro, 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 Figaro. The chain spell, one of my friends was watching the reboot, and I think she still hates me for it, but she referred to this moment as very Dora the Explorer coded, which is accurate AF. So we free him and he, you know, grows to normal size and charges after us along with an army of discount ghouls. Eventually we run into the Trix. We are surprised even though we were staring straight ahead and we could see them. But, you know, we're surprised, I guess.
That was a compliment.
The Trix are like, what are you doing in our room? And the Winx are like, get in Stella's ring, bitch. Stella like flashes the ring on her finger.
And we've got it. So we're going.
Usually when something is animated like that, your hand would hang in the air for a few seconds to like, you know, let the viewer see and register the ring that's on your finger. But her hand just goes up and then immediately goes down.
And we've got it. So we're...
It's like, do y'all know what that motion is for? What it's supposed to communicate? Did someone fuck up the keyframes? Like, what is this? We decide to transform and do nothing. Okay, sure. Why? I don't know. The Trix weren't stopping us from leaving. They were threatening us, but they weren't really doing anything. They were just kind of like, you're not going anywhere. But like, y'all ain't doing anything. You're not shooting at us. You're not blocking an exit.
So we're going.
You're not going anywhere.
Girls.
Okay. So we take forever to transform. Goddamn. And immediately Icy just freezes us. Like, Bloom rolls out of the way and the other girls who are transformed get frozen in a huge thing of ice.
I think it's time to show off.
12 seconds later.
Not so fast! Hope you brought a sweater.
Death to all of them.
So the title of this episode is Winx versus Trix, which is a lame-ass name, but there's not even a fight.
It's false advertising.
The Winx don't even get to fight the Trix before getting frozen. They just immediately get frozen. What was the point? Why you didn't even need to transform at that rate.
Winx trap.
So all of this is to get Bloom angry so that they can, like, I don't know, bait the dragon flame out of her, I guess. Icy sends more ice spikes at the other girls to, like, I don't know, scare the shit out of them. They're all trying to break out of the ice with their powers. It fails at every turn because they're all bad at their jobs. Aisha does a thing that pisses me off. In the animatics, she uses a spell called Plasma Ray, which is a very boring name for a spell. I assume it would just be a generic energy blast.
Plasma ray!
But it establishes that her powers are at least not changed from the original. Because, you know, she's a fairy of waves. She has power over water, yeah, but she mostly uses plasma and morphics, which are way more unique power-wise, especially morphics. But here, it seems that she's still called the Fairy of Waves, but in Italian, she went from the Fata dei Fluidi, you know, the Fairy of Fluids, to La Fata dell'Acqua, the Fairy of Water. And she uses a spell called Hydro Beam.
Hydro Beam!
Which firstly is a lame-ass name, and it looks really bad. Like, it's just ugly water bubbles that aren't even framed properly. Like, they're at the edges of the frame. It looks so bad. It doesn't have any weight or impact to it. It just happens.
Plasma ray! Hydro Beam!
But, like, thank you for confirming that Aisha is just a generic water girly now. And especially Stings, because I know it's literally just going to be water blasts, and that's it. I mean, she's been using, like, that protection of waves spell or whatever, which, I mean, I guess it's cool that it's an actual wave, but, you know. Side note, why would water work on this? It's ice. Water's not going to do anything. You're just adding to the ice. It's just going to freeze on contact. Use your brains. The girls don't really seem to be all that concerned about the fact they're about to die.
This keeps getting worse.
Because they're all just kind of looking empty-headed. They're all very nonchalant. They're just, like, mildly inconvenienced that they're about to become pin cushions.
Better do something soon, Bloom. Or we're gonna be pin cushions.
And Bloom doesn't look that angry either. She just kind of is taunted by the Trix, and then she starts glowing, and then she transforms. And there's not really any emotion to it. Not only because we don't know these characters well enough, and their bonds haven't been established. Like, I still don't understand why the other girls care about whether Bloom transforms. Stella and Flora don't feel like friends to her, but they at least feel kind of like forced acquaintances. But Musa, Tekna, and Aisha should not give a single fuck. They have done nothing. They've had, like, what, 2 scenes before this episode? Each? Bloom transforms, does Fire Pillar, frees her friends. Who cares? Her outfit is still ugly as fuck. I hate that fucking skirt so goddamn much. And her hair still refuses to move when she moves. So that's great.
I know, it feels amazing.
So in the animatics, the specialists then show up to escort the Winx back to Alfea. It was pointless there. It doesn't really matter that it was cut. Apparently, it was animated. It just isn't in this version of the episode. Apparently, it was cut for brevity on the BBC, which I don't understand. Like, I can understand for broadcast if you need it to be a certain length of an episode, but if it's on a web player, why cut it for brevity? That doesn't make any sense. Like, there's literally no reason it has to be an arbitrary length. It wasn't much, though. It was literally just, like, establishing the heteronormative couples, of course. But at least in the original, where they had somewhat of semblance of chemistry, they have nothing here.
Bloom, you transformed.
Yeah, for the very first time.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
There is, like, a kind of cute moment where Riven calls Musa Musa.
You're Musa, right?
Musa.
That's what I said.
Which, Musa, Fairy of Cows. I mean, it is kind of funny because in Italian, her name is pronounced Musa, because that's just how Italian letters work.
Musa, fata della musica.
Italian actually has fucking consistent pronunciation rules, unlike English. You know, it was cute or whatever. I don't really care that we lost it though, because Riven can die in a fire. They all can die in a fire in this version.
Death!
But like the fact that it was cut from this and you couldn't even really tell, I think says a lot. I think it says that there's no rhyme or reason for anything that happens in these episodes. I'm not even sure why they showed up in the original. Like, you could argue that they saw the fire pillar, but why were they out here in their ship ready to go anyway? Like, why would they be here ready to escort us back to Alfea? That, like, are they stalking us? Ogron, is that you?
Keep stalking them.
We get back to Alfea. Farragonda lectures us. We inform her that the Trix stole our ring, but she doesn't really give a shit.
The Trix started it by sending a monster to steal my ring.
And why didn't you come to me?
Like, at least in the original, we didn't have a chance to tell her, whereas here, Farragonda just doesn't care. For whatever reason, we know that the Trix continually attack the Winx and Bloom. They want Bloom's power, which we know is the Dragon Flame. We know that eventually they work for the big bad of this season, and we don't care. At every turn, we're like, they're fine. We don't really care. They're free to terrorize you. But the Winx step out of line a little bit. They break one rule. They don't finish an assignment like 110%. It's over for them. Expelled.
But the Trix
are not your concern.
God, it's so frustrating, and it makes me hate this version of Farragonda so much. And if I hate Farragonda, I feel like that's a good barometer for whether that version of Winx is shit. So anyway, Farragonda's like, oh, you transformed? Cool. And, you know, she and Griffin are like, oh, that's interesting. She, you know, destroyed some of Cloud Tower.
She accidentally destroyed one of Cloud Tower's underground tunnels.
Oh my. Could it be the Dragon Flame?
Griselda brings over the book she found on Domino, and they're all like, she must have the Dragon Flame. Again, we're really jumping the gun here. We're just going right into it without even telling the newbies what the Dragon Flame is. Okay, sure, whatever. They emphasize Bloom being a tool for evil, which I guess is kind of interesting, but it's really not in the way that it's handled here. So the girls are celebrating in the dorm because Bloom transformed. Oh, and also we formed the Winx Club. Cool, whatever.
Since they're the Trix, we could be the Winx.
Granted, in the original, I didn't really like how it was done either. It was like done in the second episode right after they all met, and Bloom made the logo off screen and came up with the word off screen. I didn't like it there. I prefer 4Kids where they waited till episode 4 to establish it when they had all gotten to know each other better. But here it's not really that great either, because like Bloom is just like, you know, it's Winx, and I'm like, where did that word come from? The comics apparently actually showed the thought process of coming up with the word, which I appreciate. Aisha's like, what does Winx mean? And Bloom is like, everything, just Winx. Girl, I'm about to get so granular here, but I'm about to whoop your ass. Okay, so originally she says, nothing, just Winx.
What does Winx mean? Nothing, just Winx.
Which makes more sense because just is exclusionary. Just means only this. But by saying everything just Winx, you are negating the just. The just shouldn't be there. If Winx means everything, then it's not just Winx.
But what does Winx mean? Everything. Just Winx. Nothing. Just Winx.
Oh my god. Oh my god. ChatGPT, is that you? There's more inconsistent shot-to-shot animation where like they're high-fiving and the frame starts on their hands already in the air and close together, and then they just kind of slide together into the high five.
Dude, totally. Sweet.
Instead of, you know, the shot being just the air, and then their hands all come together and high five, whatever. And then immediately as they're like celebrating after high five, Aisha suddenly has her arm thrown around Bloom's shoulder. Why are characters just teleporting between shots?
Yeah. Hit it, Musa.
They dance very badly. They dance very, very badly. It's very embarrassing. At one point, Bloom looks quite shocked at the end of a shot, but then is mid-dancing in the next.
This is amazing.
What was that?
They order pizza. It flies in. The pizza looks hideous.
Ew.
Stella is like, you feeling okay, Bloom? When like nothing in the previous shots suggested Bloom was feeling off, like at all.
You feeling okay, Bloom?
I'm great. Just hungry.
Okay. Jesus. And then final scene confirming the Trix are working for another man yet again. Add him to the list.
Bring me Bloom's power, and I'll give you what you want as agreed.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fucking shit.
So Darkar, Valtor, Tritanus, technically Acheron if you want to go like one step removed from Selena, and then also Valtor again in season 8. So it's the Trix working for a man yet again to counter feminism, I guess. And this one is Vexius. Who is Vexius? Who the fuck knows? They try to give us an explanation later on, but it's just like a tidbit. It doesn't go anywhere. Vexius is just some random man who looks like elderly Jack Frost from Rise of the Guardians. He's so boring. He's giving Valtor at home. Like, he really desperately wants to be a powerful, scary sorcerer like Valtor, and he's after the Dragon Flame, but God, he's so goddamn boring. Darkar was more interesting than him. Tritanus was more threatening than him. And this is also annoying because it's like, the Trix haven't even really been established as their own villains and characters, and you're already making them minions of a man. You know, it kind of worked originally with Darkar and Valtor because the Trix were the main villains in the first season, so by having them become minions in later seasons, it was suggesting that the stakes were increasing because now our big bad is someone on a higher level than the Trix were. Here, it's like, why even have the Trix then? Either just have Vexius or just have the Trix. Why are you doing it like this? And it feels redundant also to old fans because it's like, we've done this song and dance and it hasn't been good since season 3. And by season 3, we were already kind of getting fed up with it. So please stop it. But you know, Rainbow only knows how to repeat the same song and dance over and over, even if we're all sick of it and it gets worse every time. So yeah, that's episode 3. Nothing was gained. The whole point of the episode was to make Bloom transform, and there were so many other interesting ways to go about it. I hate it.